Excuse me.
Hello, everybody. Can you hear me, Eric?
Yeah, bro.
I don't know what happened, but my computer just completely froze up. As soon as I pushed the begin stream, it completely locked up, screen and everything. I had to completely reboot
Oh
it.
shit. Oh wow.
So, well, yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and we'll get through the disclaimer. You know what? Y'all know the disclaimer. I'm not even going to bother reading it. And if YouTube or Facebook have a problem with it, they can shove it up their sideways. Anyways, that being said, we're going to talk about the matrix simulation theory and a couple other pertinent things that go to that. And yeah, honestly, this is probably going to be a short podcast because of how I'm feeling. But that being said, I'm going to go ahead and take this off the screen. All right. Okay, everybody. Thank you for being here. I'm going to say hello to everybody in the chat. I know Roxanne and Ursa were here. Let's see. Who else is here? Okay. We've got, holy cow, we got everybody in there. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And the beginning of the chat, everybody in the chat, I posted the link for the new T-shirt that I did about the matrix theory, which is our conversation tonight. So if you want something to do and not get bored, you can stop listening to me and just click that, and you can go right to it, I think. So, all right, Urso, Roxanne, good to see you. Of course, ED, good to see you. Let's see. Demario, good to see you. Who else we got in here? We got, Corey, good to see you. Corey, I might be calling you on the show tonight, man, so hang tight. Candy, good to see you. Yeah, I'm just not doing good. Yvonne, good to see you. Let's see. How about, I think that's everybody. Juno, good to see you, brother. Good to see you. All right. Vicky, good to see you. Michelle, good to see you. Oh, wow. Everybody's in here tonight. Okay, David, good to see you. I know Melissa's in here too, probably, or at least she's listening. Might not be able to type, but she's listening probably. Um, let's see. Dead Wolf, good to see you. Misty, good to see you. Uh,
Yeah, he got a little purdy for the camera. Corey getting all dolled up. Come on, y'all, get
oh,
on me. Come
God.
on, get out. That's gonna make it on you. Oh man,
Yeah, not to get dolled up on our account. Why do you think I got my
man, I tell
camera
you what,
off?
man, I tell you what, we're going out here doing stuff like
I'll
that. Man,
put
I
the
think we're
camera on. Yes,
gonna do the show stuff like that. Man, I tell you what, it's just a bunch of stuff like we're gonna get it done, so we're gonna get look with the camera.
I've been reading a lot
Oh
about the
God,
Gnostic, huh?
yeah,
That's cool. That's cool, Van. Good, good. Um, Here, let me get the
hey
camera
Kathy.
off. I turned the lights off too because I've got this headache, like my head is in a vice, and I'm getting hit at the same time with a sledgehammer. So it's definitely Dead Wolf. Good to see you. Definitely a the brain stem acting up. So the mass on the brain stem. So uh,
Oh yeah. Oh
85. That's
man,
not
no, I'm not
nice.
85. No, I feel it, man. I feel like I'm 150, but no, I'm not 85. I'm 46 as of Wednesday.
All right. Let me see if I can copy this link without problem and put it in the chat for Corey to use.
Hmm. Just a
My
little heads
eyesight is
up while we're
not
getting
that
things.
great.
Well, if you need me to, just let me know.
Hey,
Hey,
don't.
Don.
No, I got it in.
Just
I got
while
it
we're
in
getting
there.
set.
I got it in there.
Okay.
Oh,
Just a heads up while we're getting ready to get set up here. I will not be having a show tomorrow night. My daughter has her very last Miss Dallas County pageant tomorrow. I went down today and had a piece of metal stuck in my arm so I can go, and we are going to. I'm going to go watch her do her Miss Dallas County.
you gave plasma today.
I hoard myself. I call it hoarding myself. Hey, Bounty. Yeah, I hoarded myself out today. I sold a part of me for some money.
Well, you're not the first human being to do it, but that is a noble thing to do when it comes to your child. So
Yeah,
definitely
I hate
hats off to
needles.
you, man.
I
I
hate.
don't even think they'd be able to find a vein on me to even do something like that. So
Yeah, and I hate needles. Oh my god, I hate needles. I can get tattoos and tongue piercings all day long. Something about a daggone needle going in my vein. I just don't like it. And so
uh,
yeah, it's I was like, I gotta have $5 to go to her Miss Dallas County pageant, and I just didn't have the money, so I went down there and had put a piece of metal in my arm.
yeah. We do what we do to survive, and we do what we do for our
Mm-hmm.
children, no matter how old they are and how old they get. That's why parents are called parents. So we always
Mm-hmm.
end up being the parent, no matter how old they are. So,
Well, what
but
sucks is they had to stick
anyways,
me in both arms because they lost the vein in the first arm, which is my good arm. Then they had to go to the side that I rarely have them draw blood for, and that one there tickled a little bit. Yeah, they went in that
yeah.
arm there, it tickled.
Last time they drew blood on me, they had to bring in a person from the lab with the thing that they use to see what
Ultrasound.
how a pregnancy is going to find the vein. Um, yeah, and they used the ultrasound at the same time trying to put the IV in. So it is what it is. When you go through shit
Hmm.
like we go through, and you get older, stuff like that happens. So, but
Yep.
anyways, we're going to talk tonight about the Matrix and a few other things, weather manipulation and all that. Um, are going to be our subjects tomorrow morning.
Ooh.
Um, and we'll get into other things too. Um, you know,
Hmm.
there is something to be said about this matrix theory because a lot of it you can correlate to a lot of the things that are happening nowadays. A lot of the glitches that people see, missing time, two suns, three moons, that kind of stuff. You can always, hey, Corey, good to see you, brother.
Hey, if I start screaming or yelling, this puppy of mine is on a tear, and I can't keep him off anything. He's completely tearing up my episode.
All right, I just wanted to see the makeup job.
Oh, I didn't have time to put any on. I didn't have time.
Oh man, you didn't get dolled up just for me, buddy. Oh.
I didn't have time to put lipstick on my pig.
Oh gosh.
Oh God,
Oh,
man, this room's
I'm just
already
naturally
spinning.
beautiful.
Hey, Daryl, good to see you. Bigfoot dwarf, naturally beautiful.
I'm naturally beautiful.
What's unnaturally beautiful
I'm
look like?
I'm dead sexy. Just look at my sexy body. Once you had fat, you never go back. Oh my gosh.
Uh,
God, I ain't
you
seen
know
that
what?
movie
I'm
in so
gonna
long.
I'm gonna probably end up turning it over to you, Eric, to talk about the
That's fine, bro.
Matrix because right now this room is spinning. I've got the light turned off in here because of the headache I've had for the last 2 weeks. It's
No
just
worries.
it makes it hard to talk, you know. So it's like talking in a megaphone when you've got a massive headache. So you guys know.
No worries.
Anyways, the Matrix. I did have Eric upload a little clip. I'm going to play it now for you all, and I want you to just kind of listen to what she says. I'll play it a couple times, but just kind of listen to what she says, okay? And it kind of makes sense if you think about it. Okay. If you can correlate what she says to a lot of the things that are happening nowadays, it's pretty amazing. I'll play it two times at least.
The world you see, the air you breathe, the you that thinks it is real, none of it exists the way you believe it does. This isn't life. This is a containment system, a construct so perfect that you never even question it, a prison so advanced that it convinces you it isn't there. And the worst part? You built it? All religions have told you the truth, but only in pieces, hidden beneath layers of distortion. The Gnostics whispered of the demiurge, a false god who created this world as a counterfeit, a deception, a parasite feeding on your energy, trapping you in an endless loop of suffering, keeping you too weak, too blind to see the cage. Hinduism speaks of Maya, the illusion so powerful that even gods can be trapped within it. The Bhagavad Gita warns that most souls remain asleep, ensnared by desire, forever reincarnating, never escaping. Buddhism tells of samsara, the endless cycle of rebirth, suffering, and death, repeating like a corrupted file, looping until you awaken and escape. Christianity was gutted, rewritten.
Now, can you all hear me?
Yes.
Yep.
Man, there's a bad delay because I said that about 2 minutes ago and I didn't hear any part of that sound wise that played. So I'm going to
Oh,
play
you watched
that
the whole thing.
video
Well, it's
again and see what happens. Obviously, something's going on. They're,
look,
they're messing with my computer. They are messing with my
look for me to
computer
do
big
that.
time, guys. Just hold on. I'm going to play that one more time.
Look for me to do this. When I do this, it means it's over
All
on
right.
our end.
The world you see, the air you breathe, the you that thinks it is real, none of it exists the way you believe it does. This isn't life. This is a containment system, a construct so perfect that you never even question it, a prison so advanced that it convinces you it isn't there. And the worst part? You built it? All religions have told you the truth, but only in pieces, hidden beneath layers of distortion. The Gnostics whispered of the demiurge, a false god who created this world as a counterfeit, a deception, a parasite feeding on your energy, trapping you in an endless loop of suffering, keeping you too weak, too blind to see the cage. Hinduism speaks of Maya, the illusion so powerful that even gods can be trapped within it. The Bhagavad Gita warns that most souls remain asleep, ensnared by desire, forever reincarnating, never escaping. Buddhism tells of samsara, the endless cycle of rebirth, suffering, and death, repeating like a corrupted file, looping until you awaken and escape. Christianity was gutted, rewritten.
Okay, cool. What do you think? I mean, that's a pretty sound little bit of information she puts out in under a minute.
Hmm. Well, we've talked about the Matrix several times, my brother. And it's no secret. I don't believe we're in the Matrix as the movie The Matrix puts it to be, but I believe the concept is the same. Uh, and that's all from brainwashing, going from grade school all the way up, TV shows that's coming out, all that stuff like that. That is where I believe that we are in the Matrix on that side. That's just my opinion. What? Say that again, bro.
Yeah,
You're kind of
true,
quiet
very
there.
true. What do you think, Corey, about your?
I'm kind of in the same boat Eric's in, honestly. I think the idea of the whole thing is like the Matrix, just not exactly.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing, though. What if maybe we're looking at the Matrix all wrong? Maybe we are looking at something that is has the capability of manipulating what we experience every day in our lives. And when we sleep at night, something reboots our system that makes us unable to remember why we're in this life. You know what I mean? Why it's delving with us. And I talk a lot lately about the demiurge. And my last long podcast with Eric was talking about that. And you know, I have seen a lot through ceremony and through what I practice, and I can honestly say that there are people out there. And I posted something about this on Facebook earlier today. I don't know if anybody saw it, but I put it out there to everybody, and about basically. Well, here, I'll just read it. I'll read it right off of Facebook. Give me a second and I'll find it. All right. Okay. Oh, there we are. Hey, I'm watching us live. Corey, you're like a shadow person, man.
I
Like I said, I didn't have time to put lipstick.
always knew there was something about him.
Here we go. Here we go.
Let's see here. I'll find it here in a second. Give me a second. Let me see. Is this it?
I'll give you a little half light.
No, that's not it. That's not it. That's not it either. This is a so-called reset, okay? Maybe it's because we're looking at it all wrong. Some of you believe that it's just a financial reset or a merchandising reset to complete the separation from other countries. Wrong. Others think that it's a religious reset. Wrong. And of course, other theories are being processed by you all. But I am here to tell you that it's a reset of the influential power players of Hollywood, the music industry, industrial complex, and the extreme wealthy. Just think about it. All the elites people being allegedly unalived, prosecuted for human trafficking and other violations, satanic acts sky rising, financial institutions and CEOs and partners are being unalived. Okay, like the senator that was in that crash recently that became unalived. This is a reset by the Illuminati, and when I use the term Illuminati, okay, and the term matrix, I'm not saying that we're living in a computer simulated environment. I'm saying that there is a possibility that these certain types of people that are living side by side with us, and we see them in movies and hear them on the radio and see them in politics, and very prominent families. They that those so-called people have been here and have gone through several resets already. Okay, so obviously, it's like talking about oh, who did we talk about that one time? Robin Williams. Okay,
Oh
and I
yeah,
told you up who Robin Williams is today. Okay, and you know,
Uncle Peppy.
yeah, the man's living his private life in Florida. There's no way anybody can say to me that that is not Robin Williams.
He's got the
Okay, I'm
same.
sorry.
He's got the same appendix scar.
Yeah, he's got the same everything. The moles, the even when he mimics Robin Williams, he is an exact match to his voice.
I'm
And
sold
believe
on
me,
that.
I have Audacity. Yeah, I've got Audacity computer program on my computer, and I can analyze voice. And trust me, I've analyzed thousands of EVPs. So,
Another one, Bob
but
Joyce
anyways,
as Elvis
that's
Presley.
yeah, yeah, that's kind of the impact that I'm talking about with this reset and with the matrix. It is certain very famous and infamous people that have been doing this time and time again. Okay, now whether they're connected to a cloning program or whether it's just something where they are immortal for some reason and they have to remake themselves every 100 years because they have to wait for the last generation that knew them as a certain actor would die off. They can wipe out all the information online through AI and start a life over again in Hollywood, or in the music industry or in politics. It's that theory, and it kind of makes sense to me, and I kind of feel like, well, it has more of a the ancient AI theory than anything. Okay, from what I've gathered from my research into it, and you can take that ancient AI theory and you can couple it with the belief that fallen angels are basically ones controlling the use of ancient AI, and I'm a firm believer that these certain people have been here for a very, very long time. I really am. There's nothing that can convince me otherwise of this fact. Okay. Either they have been here a very, very long time or they have been cloned. Okay. One or the other. Either way, they seem to be more affected by the resets that have happened through humanity and the mud flood and all that than regular people. Yeah, I wish they would have cloned Michael Jordan too. Yeah, well, many people have the same genetics, yes, but we all have the same ancestry. Okay, it's just the same old
Hey,
story. It's like we talk about all the time with cryptids. You're going to have different descriptions for the same cryptid in different countries because of the different environment. You're going to have different ones in the swamp areas as to the bitter cold areas and the high mountains. It's gonna environment is gonna affect every aspect of mutating and evolving over time. Okay, and I think that this whole reset thing, if you think about it on the matrix terms, it kind of makes sense that they can use that over and over again. I mean, prior to 1913, prior to 1913, there was no, you know, types of government influence that there is today. Okay, after 1913, all the craziness started. Okay, so they could have even started this reset back in the 80s, and they're just waiting for our generation to die off. The ones that
Hmm.
remember the seeing the glitches in the matrix and experiencing the Mandela effect. Okay, as soon as the people that
Hmm.
have the Mandela effect are gone and deceased, all they got to do is flip a switch and do it all over again. It's like rebooting
Yep.
a computer. Literally, it is. And if you can do that on a spiritual level, and there are some of us out there that can do it on a spiritual level, you know it, Corey. You know for a fact that there are people out there, medicine people, maybe not myself right now, currently with what's happening with me, but, you know, we have that in ability within us to do that. Okay. And I really want to make a video. In fact, I think I'm going to start it tomorrow after the morning podcast, about how to use your energy. And I'll videotape myself moving my energy field and just showing people what the true power is that we have. Because whenever somebody like myself or Corey or Eric talks, people tend to let it fall on deaf ears and not really take it seriously because we're quote unquote, just entertainment only, um, but we have this ability, and it just seems like they know this. The powers that be know this innate ability within us, and they are doing everything in their power to make humanity forget it. Even limiting the lifespan of humans. Okay, and the demiurge and minions of the demiurge are that same way. It's like and she even talked about it in the video, as far as the demiurge goes. So she must have even studied it for a while. And even if she's Catholic, then so be it. I'm not going to condemn anybody for any religious beliefs they have. Okay. Honestly, I don't care if somebody's Muslim. I don't care if they're Buddhist. I don't care if they're Wiccan. I don't care if they're pagan. I don't care, if they're even satanic. That's you. That's on you. Okay. As an individual. Okay. Because I know for a fact what's going to happen to me when I leave. I've already been there. I've been there and done that a couple times. I know what's going to happen to me. Okay. And I'll tell you what, I'm going to drag as much evil away from this world as I can when I do go. Plain and simple. But
Yep.
I just can't help but think that, there is a connection there, guys, and that somehow we're kind of overlooking it. The whole fallen angel and the matrix and the glitches and the Mandela effect. It's all got to be related, but I'm not saying it's all because of one certain cause. it could be multiple causes that are caused by these elite people that are in our society, in our Hollywood, our music industry, the industrial complex, and politics. And we all know the families that we say over and over again, Corey, with the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, and all them, the Bilderberg Foundation, you know,
Yeah.
Bohemian Grove is another one, So, I mean, it's like, why couldn't they why couldn't it be a possibility that they are either immortal or they have the ability, like our topic tomorrow was going to be with the dire wolves. But we're going to leave that topic for Eric's show, and I'm going to come on and help him with that. Um, and when you bring something back with cloning, you're not making a carbon copy. You're losing a. It's like taking a picture and making a copy of a picture, and then taking that copy of a picture and making another copy of a picture. Eventually, you're going to run out of those pictures having any quality whatsoever. So what's it used for? You got to go all the way
Hmm.
back to the beginning, which is a reset. Think about it. It's a reset. That's just my thought. You guys go ahead and talk about it. I'm going to sit for a while
I want
and,
to
and shut up because this room is spinning.
I want to hit on something David said about these Holly Scrooge people. This is the mindset I have with some of them. He says, or maybe they want to get away from what's going on in Hollywood, and this is their only way. I totally agree with that comment. I really do. I think that is for some of them. That is the way it is.
What do you
You
think,
think
Corey?
that's to do with what you said? And they,
I think the mud flood has a lot to do with the reset. I think it's part of it, a big part of it. Uh, you know, like the fossilized giant finger I've got.
I'm interested. Yeah, I'm just interested to seeing what your thoughts are on it, Corey, because I know that most spiritual people that are in control of and have certain aspects of their life where they work with it, more than others. I'm just curious to see what you and Eric think, and I know Eric's a very spiritual person too, with his Norse
mm-hmm.
bloodline and his Native American bloodline. But I'm really curious because maybe I'm looking at it all wrong, and I just don't know anymore.
I think pretty much whatever it. Everyone can be right. You know, uh, whatever your belief is, it can be right. But like I said, the mud flood I think is a part of the reset, and I think after the mud flood, some of us are sent back or saved back to go mine precious metal because that's the first thing they do. There's pictures of them digging out San Francisco. I don't know if y'all have seen this or not, but
Mm-hmm.
there's a guy named John Levi who's got a really interesting YouTube channel who digs and shows
Mm-hmm.
pictures of this, and it's humans
Yeah.
or what they're a lot taller in those pictures. People are
Yeah.
all of them are
True. Very true.
all of them are over 6'5", seems like, and they're digging out San Francisco, and they're saying that this mud flood comes along and resets and brings more precious metals up, and we start mining again. That's why there's such an infatuation with gold for some reason. Not so much with Native American tribes, but I see it. I look around and see what's going on, and it seems to make sense.
Well, there's so many ways too that they can control the resets. They don't have to control just one specific thing. They can influence it through media, through
Yeah,
medication and medical care. You know,
it,
religion. They can influence you through religion. I mean, it's amazing the ways that they can reset. It really
yes,
is.
the Crusades, everything. It's all a part of it.
Stop and think about something real quick.
Hmm.
If you study all the major religions throughout history, what is something besides the core value being the same, something else that they all have in common? Their gods are always mining for minerals, and something always happens where they have to reset the earth. Happens in every single religion.
Yeah, there's stories of the
Yeah.
flood in every religion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very true.
We got a couple. We got a couple questions here. Let me get back up to them. One of them's up here a
All
little
right.
bit. I got to figure out where it went.
I'm gonna go switch
Um,
glass right back.
yeah, Kathy
Got-
says, "Do you think it has to do with what Roseanne Barr said that they're all vampires?" I don't think they're all vampires, but I think that is a huge part, Kathy. I think a lot of them are. Quite a bit of them are satanic cabal, but I don't believe all of them are vampires. But I believe that has a part with it. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with Eric on that. I agree because Eric and I have already made that connection with vampires and the satanic occults and all that, and
Mhm.
to Hollywood and to a lot of the red-haired giants bloodline, and Nephilim. We can't forget the Nephilim, and that's the one thing with the religions that I've studied, okay, and I've researched. When it comes to talking about demons or the demonic, we're forgetting that even in Gnostic tradition, and teachings, that it teaches that the Nephilim are the demons. They're the spirits that we
Mhm.
see occasionally manifest themselves, and the reason that people get possessed, because the spirits of the Nephilim are still here. We are literally walking on their bodies.
Mhm.
Yes.
We have another question here. Let me get back up to. I'm trying to get caught up in the comments. Bounty wants to know what if the fallen looks so gaunt, vampirish, because of all the lifetimes and resets. Assuming, for talking purposes, this is all is true. And what if that is a good possibility, Bounty? I can't 100. I can't really say that I'm real deep into that one, but that does give me something else to think about for damn sure. That is a good possibility and a very good theory that living so many
Well,
lifetimes, resetting, living off of life forces, and the impurity that's in our body when they go to, if the ones that do survive off the blood, end up looking that way because our bodies are tainted from the crap they're doing. I could see that being a very plausible possibility.
right. What do you think, Corey?
Well, how many of y'all, when you see a little baby, see a glow around them, a glow of
Mm-hmm.
energy off of them
Hmm.
that normally you don't see with a grown person? I don't. I don't know about y'all, but I see an energy around everyone, and I see darkness on people too. He's
Hmm.
got a black cloud that follows him right above his head all the time,
Mm-hmm.
and he's a very oh materialistic type of person, real narcissistic, and I can actually see it above him when he
Hmm.
comes around. And I saged one evening in here, and he came in and he couldn't handle it. He had to leave.
Yeah, got real antsy, huh?
Yes, his eyes got real red. He's like, "Man, I got to get out of here, Corey." And I was like, "What's wrong?" But
Hmm.
you know that
Well,
tells you
I
everything
don't.
about
I don't think it's far off. I don't think it's far off to think that the vampires are, could be connected to the fallen. If you think about it, even in biblical texts, every religion has a certain elixir of life. Pagans have it. Christianity has it. They call it during communion, you know, the blood of Jesus. Okay. So, the Gnostic have it, the Muslim have it. It's every religious practice in the world can make that connection to a certain liquid. Okay. And like I've always said, that, if whether you're satanic in a satanic group, practicing the satanic ritual, or whether you're in a vampire cult and practicing their rituals. I've got a very dear little like a little brother to me that my little brother Ryan uh, introduced me to, and you know he's a vampire. He takes the blood capsules and all that, and to me he's just who he is. He's Kenny. So I mean, it's just who he is. But it's no different than me still doing the skinwalker ceremonies, as far as I'm concerned. you know just because I did them back then doesn't mean that I am them now. But you never lose it. Okay. And I think that connection to the fallen, and connected to the bloodthirst, I think that's a very, very viable possibility. I think that, in order to live forever, you've got to have some means to make it work. And if you fall from grace, from the Creator's grace, and lose that divine energy for the most part, and it goes to a dark energy, you might lose that ability. So you might have to depend on these human or human hybrid cults, like vampire cults and stuff, to continue your eternity. You know what I mean?
I think that's why the
Mm-hmm.
baby's blood is so valuable to them, to those
Right.
because of that
Good.
that radiant energy they have when they're born.
It's babies
Right.
and young children that's
Yeah,
valuable to them. That adrenal gland, that uh, I forgot the name
Adrenochrome.
of it. Anyway, thank you. That's the elixir of life.
yes,
Mhm. Well, even this picture that I just posted,
Yep.
with "We're All Being Played," literally shows you kind of like a typical breakdown of a chessboard. Okay, and if you think of this life as a chessboard, then it's pretty much a matrix theory. No matter who controls it or what kind of beings control it. You know what I mean? So, and if they have ancient AI working in their ability to make it happen, then yeah, it's a very, very possible thing.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, it's man, all of it's very good
Yeah,
possibilities and
Amelia.
very good theory.
Yeah,
Yeah. It's
yeah.
it's
It is something to think about, because
mhm.
the elixir of life, to me, it's kind of almost symbolic of the fountain of youth, if you think about it. And the whole water theory. You know, I got a good buddy that is on a ranch in Utah, and let's just say that there is a lot under our feet that we have no idea that we're walking on. None. Whether it's supernatural, paranormal, cryptid, we have no clue at what's beyond the dirt 20 feet, 30 feet beneath our feet. Okay? We have no clue whatsoever. And the vast caving system throughout the whole world can literally connect continent to continent under bodies of water. That's been proven. Okay? With um, during World War II with the whole island fightings, over there in the Pacific, with the Japanese soldiers being taken and disappearing because of red-haired giants coming out of a tunnel system from another nearby island. So, there's so many connections that we can make, and you can literally look at it as it's all just supernatural or paranormal, or we can combine it and say, you know what, if we start with the header matrix and we branch off, it all kind of connects. It all kind of makes
Mm-hmm.
sense. If you stand back and you look at it, from an angle, a different angle every time, it even begins to make more sense that the vampiric type of a demeanor could be a fallen angel, and they could all be part of this certain elite squad that does the reset of the matrix every, I don't know, several hundred years.
Yeah. Uh, Van's got a couple questions here that I find. Hey, Machete. Let me get back up to him. He wants to know this first question: where's the fountain of youth? Any idea? If the fountain of youth is an actual thing, I'm a firm believer. Just because of the stuff from Aztec religion and Seminole religion, it's somewhere between the southern tip of Florida and South America, somewhere in there. But to your second question is where I'm kind of at, and it's not a literal form of the fountain youth, but what we call with a adrenochrome as the elixir of life. If you listen to a lot of the legends behind the fountain of youth, it takes life to give life. And what are they doing when they
Yep.
harvest adrenochrome? They take a life to give life. So to me, that process fits very, very closely with the fountain of youth, and that's why I'm kind of on the border of believing it's more of a that process than an actual literal fountain of youth. I could be wrong. That's just my theory. What do you guys think?
I think it's it's all of those things, and it could be a different dimension. Could it mean something else? You know,
Mm-hmm.
in another dimension.
Well, Yvonne Van, you are very, very analytical. That's a great way of looking at things, and I'm a firm believer that the fountain of youth, and I'm probably the opposite of Eric on this, and that's fine because we both, we don't always agree, but we do agree to disagree. And I'm just a firm believer that with all my religious studies and stuff and research, that the fountain of youth is within us, and without us. Um, I think that it has something to do with the adrenochrome, like Eric believes. Um, I think it could possibly be an elixir of life that we have forgotten. The Aztec used a liquid, a silver liquid that solidified a metal that would solidify at 84 and a half degrees Fahrenheit. It would at room temperature go from solid to a like a mercury type of a looking liquid. And they used it in a lot of their ceremonies. They buried their people with it around them. They used it to do all kinds of mystical, whatever you want to call it, spiritual ceremonies. They even boiled it and made it into a steam, which would make them hallucinate. And this is all from studies that I did with Aztecs and descendants, and just information that I acquired over the years. This metal is a metal that's very, very prominent in computers, in solar things, computer chips, all kinds of different things. And it's a very valuable metal. And they have even gone to the point to surround their gold stashes with this metal, because if a person, in their belief, if a person was to try and attempt to remove their treasures that they hid, um, there would be like 7 chambers, okay, underground, first off, that the Aztec people would use to set up a one chamber filled with their gold, okay, and this metal inside, and it's a metal that's inside rocks, certain rocks from South America, and they would they would somehow confine it like a treasure chest, but made out of rough wood, and they would bury it. Okay, and they would bury it anywhere from 20 to 30 to 40 feet below level with water, and they would set up water traps to protect it and other booby traps. Now, that elixir had to have been so valuable that we don't know what exactly the effects of it could be. Maybe it was a part of the ingredients for the elixir of life. We all know that the Aztec were very big on ritual sacrifice, okay, during eclipses and stuff like that. And just think about the number of eclipses that we've had lately. Okay, it's almost like the world around us is trying to revert back to the way that it used to be, the old ways, which is in line to what Corey said about it always goes back to mining gold, you know, always. And it just seems like every time there's a reset, humanity drops back 2,000 years or so into the Stone Age and starts all over again, pretty much.
And then repeats itself over and over, doing the same thing.
Yep. What do you think, Eric?
Well, I mean, so with you talking about the fountain of youth being inside, I can see that because of like you said, how I was talking about my theories on the fountain of youth. That fits right
Mm-hmm.
in there with that because they have to harvest it within you. So therefore, the
Mm-hmm.
fountain of youth being within you, I can see that. I really can
Yeah.
see that just because of everything that we just talked about. And everybody in the chat's talking about this red mercury. I've heard of red mercury. I don't know a lot about it, so I can't really comment on that. Um,
That's the Chinese thing. Well, what they did is they found that I think Muchetti would know too. That it's a red liquid like red mercury that they found in a lot of the
mhm.
old tombs. Um, that a lot of the
Oh,
emperors and stuff were buried with. Okay, because it's
I didn't
supposed
know
to
that was red
carry
mercury.
them or give them. It's supposed to give them a way to go through life. It's supposed to be a representation of having to continue the journey in the cycle. You know, and yeah, I don't know if it was red mercury or if it was. I thought it was.
It's regular mercury that they found in the tombs.
Yeah, but I think it was reddish in color though. That's what they're acquiring to.
Yeah,
Yeah, Bigfoot
yeah.
dwarf.
I
Yeah.
don't know enough. Yeah, I don't know enough about red mercury. That's a fairly new concept that I just heard about not too long ago. And honestly, I've just not had time to really put it together. But I do know that they found regular mercury in Chinese tombs, Egyptian tombs,
Yeah,
and I
cinnabar.
believe
Ooh.
some South
Oh.
American tombs.
Yeah, cinnabar is Kathy. Cinnabar is deadly to humans.
Mm.
Deadly. Um, there was mining operations in Oregon and California for cinnabar, and I believe state of Washington for the longest time. And they would send the Chinese workers into the mines, and the cinnabar was so deadly that the life expectancy would be about a year for someone to mine, but the Chinese had to do it because that's all they were allowed to really do, is that and the railroad work, you know, and
Mm-hmm.
laundry. Those are the three main things that they
Mm-hmm.
were allowed to do when they were here back in the 1800s. So,
Yep.
you know,
Well, and
but
you
yes,
got to consider too a lot. Oh, sorry.
no, go ahead, go ahead. I was just taking a breath.
Oh. Oh, okay. I thought you was done and I heard you talking, so I must have had a glitch. I apologize on that. Um, you got to think too. A lot mercury has a lot of stuff. Mercury is used in alchemy. Mercury is used for conducting electricity. Mercury was thought to help cure things at one point in time. Then they find out it actually poisons the body. But mercury can be used to tell temperature. Mercury can be used for a lot of things, and it's very odd. It is the one metal that is a liquid at all states.
Yeah.
I mean, it
Well,
is
the metal that
something
I'm talking
almost out
about,
of this
yeah, the
world.
metal that I was talking about the ranch in Utah, it 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 literally looks like silver mercury, okay, when it's brought into liquid form.
Mhm,
And it is the same type of metal that is used for, believe it or not, that has been mentioned in anti-gravity devices
mhm,
and time travel.
mhm. Yeah. So I mean, Mercury has a lot of stuff, and it's literally something that's damn near out of this world. Like it never was supposed to exist here. Nine Stopa. Um,
Get them, Snow. Get them.
uh, well, Bucky's outside raising hell, so no snow. I've got the door in here because there's two teenage girls in this house with a bunch of animals, so I know how this night is going. So I
Oh,
got in
there's
my
not
office and
supposed to
shut
be
the
any
door.
boys in that house.
I'm the only one here. If I find one here, this is Sparta. That's all I got to say. Temporary insanity, baby. I was in war. I get three hots and a cot and free drugs. um, but I mean, mercury is also used to poison people. It was used to assassinate and poison people. There is so much stuff tied with this weird, freaking, bizarre, alienistic, freaking metal, man.
They used to
Um,
treat TDs with it back in the 1800s.
well, I mean, look, you know, oh my God, I just forgot his name. Blackbeard. Blackbeard went insane because he was using it to cure syphilis. That's why Blackbeard went insane.
Hmm.
That's someone talked about the Mad Hatter. That's why he went insane.
Yeah. Yeah. Look how many hat people and mercury workers that went insane from dealing with it nonstop.
Okay. Now I'm going to bring this up to you guys and everybody in the chat.
Mhm.
What do you think about the Matrix theory now? If you're mentioning movies and past historical figures
Mhm.
being affected the way they are and using mercury, think about it. It could be a connection to the whole Matrix theory as far as the reset goes. Maybe
Mhm.
they assume that this liquid, maybe they knew that it had certain properties.
Yeah.
So,
To answer Vaughn's question real quick, because that ties into what we're talking about. I just lost it. Daggone it. Hold on. He was asking, he goes, Blackbeard drank mercury? No, he didn't drink it. How do I put this, make it YouTube friendly? He used a tube to pour it down a certain male anatomy. I think that's YouTube friendly, isn't
Orifice.
his tallywhacker.
it? Cecilia, good to see you. That was Larry. Nine, Stopa. That's just Jesse. Stopa.
I was trying to think
Nine.
of a way to say it too.
Yeah. I was like, man, I really gotta speak. I can't just be the old Marine grunt me and yeah, I was like, got to speak civilian.
Well, and you
uh,
know that when it comes to a matrix theory, though, guys, that
mm,
you know we have to be able to link other aspects of society as a whole, and we know that media plays a big part in the manipulation of humanity. Okay,
Yeah.
so that's
it
just
does.
one aspect of the whole reset, you know,
Mm-hmm.
combination. And then you think about, not only do you have that, but you have literally the medical field
Hmm.
that can help out with the reset, and basically prescription drugs. Now,
Mm-hmm.
what was the symbolism you all saw in all those?
Snake.
The snake, yes. Now, I took the other picture off that I had on here, but I had a picture of a depiction of what Quetzalcoatl looked like, and what the demiurge looked like and all that. They all represented basically the snake with
Mm-hmm.
a flowered head with seven, basically seven types of heads, or things coming off the head like a lion's mane, looking thing, and or a flower looking thing. And how many spikes does the Statue of Liberty have?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Seven. No, the Statue of
7.
Liberty only has seven.
It's
Hmm.
changed.
It's chain.
Yeah, they've changed it.
Well, I thought I had 10, man, when I was younger.
No, no, it has seven. Statue of Liberty has seven. It's a representation of Lucifer.
Hmm.
Okay, the light bringer.
Hmm.
Okay, just like
Seven-headed dragon.
the seven-headed dragon. Exactly,
Well, what did you say earlier?
exactly.
The Aztecs had 7 chambers.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. You see the connection now?
Yep. Well, think about it this way. In Christianity, Judaism, Catholicism, anything dealing with
Bad
Christ,
archons.
what was the one thing that deceived Eve?
Snake.
Do, do, do. There you go. In Norse mythology,
Yeah.
what is the one offspring of Loki that disrupts the earth and ends up taking out Thor during Ragnarok? Do, 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 do,
I'm gonna let someone
do,
else have
do.
this.
Jormungandr, the world serpent.
Yep. And
And I
that
mean that.
same that same reptilian, that Eric just described, Jormungandr was actually, it's a, oh, is it Greenland or no, Iceland. They've spotted it in Iceland, of all places.
Hmm.
So I think it was Iceland.
Okay, another connection. You're talking about the media. You know, okay,
Mm-hmm.
the Hearsts were that's who came into the United States and bought all the gold claims and
Mm-hmm.
the black George Hearst. Okay, he also controlled one of the biggest newspapers in the country, and
Hmm.
he, yeah, and his competition to print the paper on what they printed the papers on was hemp. Okay, that he was using like what is it, paper mills like trees, but hemp was his competition, and he would go down to South America and buy all these trees and chop them up and use them. Well, hemp paper was his competition, so he used his newspaper to make marijuana illegal. See,
Hmm.
the the, the
Hmm.
powerful families control gold and the media. Just for starters, and then that's how they made marijuana illegal. But I'm saying that family is in control of more than just the gold. And he used his newspapers to take hemp out of the competition for his newspaper, printing it on hemp paper.
Mm-hmm.
It all links in.
Big
It's all
Bigfoot. Yep. Bigfoot Dwarf says the Hearst Old World
Here's
Castles
something
in
also. Yeah, here's something also to consider too, guys. I was just counting on my fingers because I can only count to 10. So, but that being said, I
Take your
just
shoes
got
and
done
socks off. You
counting
can count on
all. Yeah, shut up. anyways, anyways, all of the militaries that are are brought together to make the United Nations Army. Guess how many countries it is? 7 of them, exactly. Exactly.
Seven.
Completely 7 of them. Yep. So, it's awful funny how that seems to repeat itself. And if that isn't part of a possible matrix type of a theory, that number 7, I don't know what would be.
How many days in the Bible does it say that Yahuwah created the heavens and the earth?
Yeah. So,
6 days and rested on the seventh.
on 7th day. Yep. So that makes the number 7 the divine number. So maybe this matrix
What
theory
does
has something to do, with a lot of what's happening. Maybe it's just we haven't tapped into figuring out all the ins and outs of how this matrix theory could work when you incorporate history, religion, science, and the controllers, the controlling families and elitist assholes of the world, you know, maybe, just maybe, if we could figure out how they all connect, we would have this matrix theory thing figured out.
yeah. Think about this: in every single religion, including Native American, the evil ones try to claim that they are just as powerful or more powerful than the great creator. And they replicate what the great
That's all,
creator
folks.
does. Yeah, replicate what the great creator does. You know, so if it took Yahuwah 6 days to create the heavens and earth, and he rested on the seventh, then it would make stand to reason why seven can be used as an evil number as well, because the evil ones are trying to replicate what the good is done in
I
Native
got one
American
that'll blow
culture.
your minds.
What's that?
I got one that'll blow everybody's minds. And I've said it in past podcasts, and I've even got it to prove it. 7 heavens.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. I was about to bring that
And
up.
yes, think about it, folks. It's the color of the rainbows in between, which is what we talked about on that 3-hour podcast the other night,
Mm-hmm.
Friday night. The rainbows have 7 colors.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm telling you
Who
that
created the rainbow?
it's exactly. And the rainbow is a representation of the Creator telling us what kind of world we're living in. You know, it's a sacred thing that that God, the Creator, showed to Noah and his family after the flood. That he promised not to flood the world ever again, and he asked for a sign, and the Creator gave him the rainbow.
Mhm.
That's why the rainbow is so sacred in religious practices, and it's not just Christianity, and it's not just Judaism. It's Native American folklore too in religion. The seven gates, yeah, exactly. See, Van, we're not that far off. If we could figure out the connections to it, we could figure out this whole thing. But
Yeah.
I'm just I'll be honest with everybody. I'm getting to the point where I'm just getting burned out, you know. So that's why I'm depending a lot on Eric and Corey to help.
Yeah. No, you're good, man. I try to talk when I can. No, I mean, there's a lot of connections that we make all the time, and that's why to me, this is why it's so important to study the old religions, the old ways, because we're starting to connect something that they knew a long time ago,
Yep.
be it paranormal, supernatural, cryptid, whatever it is. Things like this. This is knowledge they had years ago, and we're trying to
Yeah.
reconnect the dots because it was lost to us.
Yep. Exactly. And it's like I've always said, and Corey knows this
Um,
too. I've always said, that everything is connected.
yeah.
Everything that we experience in this life is connected. Whether we call it the matrix, whether we call it, a reset, it's all basically the same thing. It's just renamed over time. If you think about it, they all
Yeah.
basically have the same generic, makeup of explaining what is going on, but it has multiple names for it, you know. And I think that's
Mhm.
how the powers that be get away with this reset every, I don't know, a couple thousand years, you know. I really do.
Mhm. Hey, I'll be right back. Snow's being a butt because he hears the girls. I'll be right back.
All right. What do you think, Corey?
I think people in chat are putting up some really interesting stuff tonight.
Let's see here. Let me get there. Let's see. Let me see if I can find a.
I'm having a hard time seeing my dog chewed my good freaking glasses. So,
Yeah, I'm having a hard time seeing too, brother. So welcome to the club. I lost my sight earlier today again, and it's starting to happen daily now for me. I don't know if there's anything I can do about it. Man, I'm way behind in the chat. Good Lord. Robin, good to see you. Daryl, good to see you. Man, I'll tell you what, I missed a lot of people. Bigfoot dwarf in the house.
yep.
Okay,
County
let
Hunt
me see
Bear.
here. Yep, Bear. Vicky. Yeah, let's see. Oh, come on. There we go. Pop that up for a second until I can find something else here.
Foxy Roxy.
Emilius, you hit the nail on the head with that one. I can definitely put that up. That's for sure. And I do believe, Vaughn, that that's a good point too. That we are star people. I think that if we are not fully star people, that we are probably genetically linked somehow to a certain fraction of star people.
Yes, we're
So,
all stardust.
sorry,
Misty, good to see you.
sorry. End up, he needed to go to the bathroom. I opened up the door and he turned around, looked at me, he's like, hello, I've got more to go. So I ended up having to let him out.
Hey, Cryptid
Okay.
Hunters. I'm sorry I didn't see you in there.
Oh, here's
Okay.
where I left off. Okay. Um, I'll wait till you're
Yeah, I'm
done and
trying
I
to
can
play
pick up where
catch
I'm.
up.
Oh,
Oh,
I'm,
go
I'm way
ahead.
down here. Yeah, I'm way down here. Um, but sorry, got caught up with the dog. Uh, no, I mean there's a lot of stuff that's involved on this. Numbers are very very important. Numbers are extremely important. Numbers are not only tied to letters, but they're tied to spells. They're tied to alchemy. They're tied to chemistry, biology. The list goes on and on and on and on and on and on. Hey, Ida. Um,
How we doing, Ida?
so numbers are very significant in their value. Some can be used in good for good. Some can be used for bad. Our governments and the alphabet soup companies have, use a certain frequency, which is numbers, a certain number tied to a frequency to cause bad things. Tesla had the med beds, which used a certain frequency, a number, to heal the body and the mind and the soul. Uh,
3, 6, and 9.
they are numbers are everything, huh?
3, 6, and 9. That was his three numbers
Yeah,
he thought were important.
and I can't reveal certain things about Masonic, but yes, Masonic has numbers, and people who are Masons are going to know what I'm talking about. And them numbers have a lot to do with what we talk about on these shows as well. And William, you know that. Now, I'm no algebra person. I do not
Go
believe in
there, but
algebra. I, I can't stand algebra. I think algebra is stupid.
yeah,
I think that's a misdirection.
I didn't like it either.
So,
I was geometry was my thing.
mm, yeah. I got into it with my college professor
every
because he would always fail me because he said my questions are wrong. I said, is my answers correct? He goes, yes, your answers are correct. He goes, but you only
I'm
took
trying to
two to
look
three
up
steps
something
to
right now,
solve
guys.
the.
Go ahead and continue talking. I'll pop in whenever I get a chance.
Same argument,
All right,
Eric.
brother.
I had the
Yep. I
same.
said, I can. Why do you spend 15 steps to find the answer? For one, number one, the very basis of algebra, very, very basis. You know the answer before you know the problem. How the hell do you know the answer before you know the problem? You got to figure the problem to know the answer. Hello. That's just common sense there. And why spend 15 steps when you can do 1 to 3 steps to have your answer? And I used to get, he goes,
How
well,
about this
algebra is a
connection?
language. I said, uh huh.
How
So
about
I
this
can't.
connection to the number seven, Eric and Corey? The angelic
Okay.
number 777 is the meaning of a representation of the connection between the soul and the spirit. It means that
Mm
you're well on your way to spiritual enlightenment and your guardian angels are right by your side. The angelic number
hmm. Mm
777 meaning is an indication that you have reached or are about to reach an important milestone. However, the meaning of the 777 could also indicate that you are about to be rewarded for your recent efforts.
hmm. Mm hmm.
Now, that has a lot about that number seven,
Yeah.
you know, holds a significant spiritual meaning for many people. if you keep seeing this angelic number, it may indicate that you are aligning more closely with your higher self and experiencing an acceleration on your path of awakening and spiritual growth.
Hmm.
Now,
There you go.
think about who taught humanity all the knowledge they needed to take, and who tempted Eve to take partake of the forbidden fruit of knowledge.
Hmm.
Think about it. It was the number seven, Lucifer.
Yep. The seventh
So
son of the seventh
that
son.
pretty much confirms,
Seventh son.
yeah,
Seventh son.
the seventh son, the seventh heaven. Um, there's so many different. I don't even. I'm blown away about that. That connection to seven is a very, very prominent connection. I mean, there's
Hmm.
definitely a connection there.
Yep. But I mean, stop and think about that for a second. I mean, in so many different movies dealing with witchcraft or um, demonology or witchcraft or monsters or all that. What is the one thing that can always stop them? The seventh son of the seventh son. 7 and 7
Yeah,
again.
seven holds a very, very special place in humanity for some reason. And if you think about it, it's it all starts with the Garden of Eden.
Yeah,
So maybe
with
that's our confirmation that the fallen ones and Lucifer are the ones controlling everything right now. Maybe that's
Yeah.
the confirmation that we need to prove that certain aspects of the spiritual beliefs of the past are currently happening here in the future.
who did Yeshua meet in the desert?
No, that would be Lucifer.
Exactly. What did he tell Lucifer? You're not just a prince amongst these people, you're a god amongst these people.
Exactly. Exactly. So that could be
Yeah.
why the number seven is so prominent in our society. You know, it's like Bigfoot Dwarf said, by the way, you know, that whenever you hit 777, it's a lucky number because you hit the jackpot. Think about it. It's true.
All the
Most
casino
everything
Hmm.
that happens, yeah, most everything that happens with the number seven, guys, is
rolling.
linked to something good happening. Yeah.
Go ahead, Corey.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, rolling dice.
Yeah.
My
Yeah.
favorite gambling game, blackjack. What's 7 plus 7 plus 7? What is the highest number you can reach to win a jackpot on blackjack? 21. 7 7 7. The arms on the numbers on the one armed bandit, like William was talking about, to win the jackpot. 7 7 7.
Number seven.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I'm kind of curious. The comment that Bounty Hunter made. I'm gonna pop it up here, guys.
Yep.
Um, everything. It's like the only thing that I can figure out right now with the number seven is that it is a number that only a certain angelic being, and just because he fell from grace doesn't make him not an angel. Okay,
Mm-hmm. He still has
so
the power.
Yeah, he still has his angelic powers. Okay, he's not as powerful as the creator, but he still has his power. And think about what I said about the demiurge, how it's literally a world built on deception, which is related to the number seven, which is related to the snake, which is related to the Garden of Eden.
Yep. Uh, are you meaning, Donnie, just out of curiosity, you meaning 666 is the evil number? And when you're saying sixes and nines, three sixes, supposed to be evil,
That's
is
what
it then?
Nikola Tesla was infatuated with numbers 3, 6, and 9.
Mhm.
I can't. I've read so much stuff; it's hard for me to remember. I've read about that though. That was like he would have to walk around a building 3 times. He got so infatuated with it, you know,
Mm-hmm.
his
Yeah.
every day, and became OCD about it.
Well, I'll tell you what. You know what number I always stop if I have to use a microwave to heat up, whether it's water to make a cup of coffee or something or tea or whatever I drink, I always stop at the number 7. I don't know why, but I'm always told to stop at the number 7.
Mhm. I got another number for you. What is the one number that is associated with
Hey,
evil,
Richard.
unlucky stuff, and you won't even find them on a hotel room?
13.
Friday the 13th. What happened on Friday the
Okay,
13th? Some of you may not.
I'll enlighten you even more on that number 13, bro, is the fact that
Mhm.
what is the number of apostles in the Bible plus Jesus?
Oh, oh, good one. 12 apostles plus Yeshua, 13. Yes, we are, man. We're supposed to have a 13 month, each of them 28 days. If you have 13 months of 28 days, that equals up to 365, which is a full year. Our turtle shell
Yep.
has 28 little scales on it, 13 big scales. 13 and 28,
Yep.
two very big numbers, which they took away. Whenever since they took it away, we became out of the cycle of the moon, which is 13 and 28, which threw everybody off, which follows a woman's menstrual cycle,
That's right.
13 and 28.
Oh, I forgot the feminine napkins.
I can't remember when we got away from the 13th. I looked at it and I
19
forgot what it is.
I think it was 1913 actually.
That's I was trying to remember if it was the 1903 or 1930 was the two numbers I was thinking of, but I couldn't remember.
I think it was 1913 when they changed it. And then they also went ahead and messed with it even more because it throws humanity's algorithm off and energy level off
Mm-hmm.
and makes us not fall within the cycle that the creator wanted us to be in. So basically, they incorporated daylight savings time into that whole fiasco too. If we would go back to the 13-month table, 28 days a month, okay, 365 days a year without daylight savings time, watch how strong and smart humanity becomes.
Mm-hmm. Machete,
Yeah,
I agree. The 13th
yeah,
zodiac, people don't talk about that.
yep, very true. Very true. And these we have to figure out, the 369 and the number 13 and the number 7. Well, the number 7 we pretty much already figured out. Um, but it's
Mm-hmm.
like they want to keep the number 13 from us. That's why it's hidden on elevators. Okay, it's hidden off of room numbers. Okay, it's hidden off of zip codes. You don't see any zip code out there 1313 13. I mean, it's ridiculous. I don't even think there's a 13 number PO box in a post office. They
Holy crap! I never
literally
thought
have,
about it.
have they literally
Huh?
have taken that number and used it and made it look like that number 13 was evil
Mhm.
and not the number 7. Think about it.
So, pop quiz, everybody. When did number 13 become tied to Satan's to evil stuff? I know of one person in here at least will know this because it's tied to what we are, and that is the
Yeah,
only hint I'm going to give
I'm
you.
gonna I'm gonna I'm gonna keep my mouth shut.
And I'll
But
give everybody
I
a
can
few
tell you, I've
seconds to
got
see
the
if they can
DMLA
answer.
degree.
Yep. I'll give everybody a few seconds before I tell you when the time that number 13 was tied to evil. Do 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 do. Nope. Do do do. You were born on Saturday 13th, Robin. Heck yeah. So, does anybody? Hey, Isabel. Isabel, you got it. Whenever
Very
they
good.
burned the Grand Wizard and the Templars at the stake, it was done on October 13th, which was a Friday the 13th. Is when the number 13 became an unlucky number. What did the Grand Master Demolay say when he was being burnt after being betrayed by the King of France and the Pope of the Catholic Church? I curse you.
I curse you. Yep. Yeah, henceforth I've got the DMLA degree. So
Yep.
that's why I kept my mouth shut on that.
Yep.
uh,
Heck yeah, Cecilia. It was a curse. Exactly. Yep. People don't because they don't teach that no more because they're trying to
right.
hide the truth behind the 13th. Whenever they betrayed the Knights Templar, the warriors of Christ, that when they burnt them on the stake on the Friday the 13th of October, he cursed them. And ever since then,
Okay, so
the 13th has
so let,
been
let
a
me
bad
let me
number.
ask you this. Okay, let me ask you this. They are
Mm-hmm.
they are so busy trying to make that aspect of the Templar Knights and the Freemasons breaking away from the Vatican. Maybe,
Mm-hmm.
just maybe, the Vatican is what they're wanting to make this one world religion about. Think about
Mm-hmm.
all the charity work that the Vatican does to try to nestle up next to humanity. Okay, think
Mm-hmm.
about it. But also at the same time, while the Vatican is nestling up to humanity to help humanity to help the people, the poor people, and the unfortunate ones. And I'm not coming down on Catholicism, okay, because I'll tell you here why in a second. I believe the Vatican is a whole separate evil from Catholicism. Okay, I think if if anything, the Catholicism as a centralized religion does good, okay? But I think that also at the same time the Vatican hates the Freemasons and the Templar Knights so badly that they made a deal with a certain French king
Mm-hmm.
to eliminate them,
Yep.
okay?
Isabel, it
And
was not the Pope who owed the Templars money. It was the King of France who owned the Templars money. And the Pope was not going to turn against the Templars until the King of France lied to him and gave him false stuff and painfully tortured some Templars with information that led the Pope to betray the Templar.
exactly.
Guys, I think somebody just pulled up. I have
All right, bro.
Uh, You can at least turn the ceiling fan on so we can have something to watch.
Let's get rolling, rolling, rolling. But that's,
Uh,
so, I mean, that's just, yeah, or so I'm not going to, yeah, well, just, yes. I don't want to get too deep into that, but yes. So, but that's just a little bit of a history for you. And whenever the 13th became an unlucky number,
that's kind of man. That's almost confirming
Rubber.
Urso's comment is almost confirming um, what what the Matrix is, or at least individually to me, because believe it or not, I've been seeing a lot of that stuff lately on Facebook about that group. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so
Yeah, there's a reason why
Ur-
I can't
Urso,
talk
are you
about
an
much
AI?
of
Are you an AI, Urso? That's what I want to know. Are you AI?
We got our eyes on you, or so.
Well, guys, I'm gonna have to call it a night. Uh, I got
All right,
company.
brother. Thank you for coming on.
It's my birthday, so she's
All right, brother.
bringing me a cake.
Oh, happy birthday, bro.
Thanks,
Oh, happy
man.
Man,
birthday.
mine was just a couple days ago.
Uh, y'all take care, everybody in chat.
You too,
Love you,
bro.
bro.
See ya.
But I wanted to get back now that our chat's calmed down a little bit. I want to get back to something because it's very significant that Vaughn brought up.
Hmm.
Uh, what numbers is in that date, which was the date that the Templars were, and the Grand Wizard of the Templars was burned at the stake? There's a quinky dink in that date. 13, 13,
Yeah.
7.
Sorry, I'm highlighting all the happy birthdays for.
Yep. Oh, thank you.
Cool.
I literally didn't do nothing because nobody celebrates with me anymore. So yes,
Everybody's coming
Isabel. Yep.
through with birthdays. Oh my
Yep.
God.
I literally worked the elections my birthday. That's what I did on my birthday. I was picking up voting machines. That was the highlight of my birthday.
I
It's
don't.
my
I
birthday.
don't
Don't
expect it.
cry if I want to. Cry if
I'll
I
be
want to.
happy to make my birthday.
Yeah. Yep. I
That
know some
that'll
of
be
them
my
too, Bounty.
that'll be my birthday present to me is when I make my birthday. So
Isabel, yes, you were right. Yours. Oh, yours. Are you talking about your birthday? Yeah, mine was Wednesday. I'm creeping on that 50 mark. Dude, I told you that I'm going to be live. I can't be getting up and getting down. It's your own damn fault you want it outside. He's at the door scratching now. But I told him since it was the first to celebrate the whole month, so I can. You're 48. Yeah. Hey, I'm an Aries, man. I'm a god of war.
just a bunch of babies as far as I'm concerned.
Hey, this baby's been rocking and rolling for a long time, man. I tell you, I'm sliding sideways into the grave screaming. Yeah, my body's gonna be used up by the time my fluffy ass gets in there. The old fur baby already knew Isabel. He knew. I warned him, but he needed outside, so I let him outside. I can't keep up and getting down all the time. I'm getting there, Roxanne. My body feels it. That's for damn sure. I pinched a nerve in my back the other Wednesday
Yeah.
working on them or Monday working on the elections. One of the machines was hung up, and I was trying to get it done hung up, and my helper started lowering the gate, and it put me in one hell of a little bit of a bind. Yeah. So yeah. Uh, That was the snake handler, I believe. Vaughn, I believe. I can't remember who it was. Put it in the chat earlier. So I've been kind of dealing with that, trying to move. I've been working on both my motorcycles and my lawnmower this weekend, and trying to get
You're
things
not
running.
putting
My
a
brother
lower
needs to
deck
borrow
on
one
your
of my.
motorcycle, are you?
I actually want to do that. Oh, dude, that'd be kick ass.
My God.
Slinging freaking grass. Oh god, yeah, that'd be great. I need a bear.
Oh
Um,
boy.
I've been dealing. I've been dealing with back problems for a long time, Isabel. I initially hurt my back fast roping out of the back of a CH-53, and a gust of wind had picked it up, and I dropped an extra 10 foot on the small of my back with a full combat load. So between that, farming, fighting, mechanicking, I've been an 18-wheeler mechanic for a long time. My back is just back, knees, hands, feet, everything's just done.
Yeah, Roxanne, my money's on you.
Yeah, go for it, man.
Oh,
Not anymore, but I will have one, Bigfoot dwarf. I will have one again. So, man, I don't know if I can share this story on YouTube or not. I got to make this YouTube friendly. One time in Marine Corps, because I can't say band camp because it wasn't band camp. This was Marine Corps. The
same
Aussies
thing.
flew in 4 cargo planes of adult beverages. We'll just say the numbers on the B adult beverages consisted of 2X, 3X, and 4X. And then there was the Aussie version of a certain thing we like to drink that starts with an R. Well, one day during this several day party that we was having, um, me and my infinite wisdom decided to concoct a tube to a funnel system that went to the second story. And 24 is a number that works with this tube and funnel. And 24, 4X, and hillbilly Marine from Missouri. Not a very good conversation. I didn't. My 3 step. It's a 3 stepper. Yeah, 3 steps, and you're. I don't remember anything after that. Yeah.
Uh,
I
well,
think that is
I'm
YouTube friendly.
yeah, I'm starting to get to the point where I can't even freaking think anymore, guys. I want to
Mm.
thank the mods tonight for being here and for putting up with me. It's going to be hit or miss with me. Um, Definitely coming on tomorrow morning. So, but
Heck yeah, man. Oops. Yeah, no, it's going to be great. We're going to have a great show tomorrow morning on yours. We're going to have a great show on mine. Robbie Rains may be joining me on mine. I'll know more tomorrow. Uh, I was very limp in that reality, so I was probably around 75. Oh, uh, cool. We are just a whole mix of everything here. We are, Bounty. Hey, Robin. You're going to.
uh,
Oh, somebody's got a birthday coming up. Thank you, Brown Dwarf.
yeah.
God, man, the chat flows.
When's Robin's
But
birthday?
show. May 21st.
Oh, mine's before that.
Yes.
Mine's April 17th.
Yeah, just a couple of days away. Yes, Roxanne. Sorry, I will not have a show tomorrow night. Thank you. I have my days mixed up in my head. I have had an extra day off this week. Yes, I will not have a show tomorrow night because I'm going to my youngest daughter's Miss Dallas County pageant. Last year, she got second runner up, so I'm excited to see what she gets this year. But it's good to see you, Joanne. So yes, I will not have a show
Isabel,
tomorrow
thank you
night.
for
My
being
show
here.
will be. Heck yeah.
You
So
know, I just,
and
there's so many connections we can make, Eric, to the whole matrix theory and even the
oh god,
numbers
yeah.
tonight, and to what the number 13 actually represents, that it's not a bad number. It's not a dark evil number, that history and certain fractions of history have basically taught everybody or programmed everybody to believe. And I don't think you'll find a better indoctrination camp in the world than the United States education system.
Correctamundo.
So, if you think about it, what if they lied to us about everything? Hi, Mary.
Yeah.
Thank you. And thank you, Robin. Um, what if they lied to us about literally everything? What if,
No, I don't know.
yeah, I mean, it's such a wide subject that we could get into so many different shoots on, and different aspects of it that, numerology is just one part of the matrix, you know, the how about the repeating cycle? If we could pinpoint some kind of repeating cycle for humanity, then that would definitely help us out. Is it the 6,300 years that it takes the Anunnaki to return? Or is it, or is
Yes.
it, or is it something else? You know,
Mhm.
because if you think about it, every time the Anunnaki's brought up, it leads humanity back to mining gold. So
Mhm. Oh
maybe
yeah.
that's where all the
The
gold
thing
in
is,
Fort
we
Knox
got
is to.
the one thing that we forget so much is Yahuwah says it best. We have the power of life and death in our tongue. So be careful how you speak, because when you speak, you're casting spells.
Spells.
Okay.
Yeah. Hmm.
So when you make something evil, it becomes evil. Food for thought, everybody.
Yep. With that being said, um, I guess you can join me and Eric in the morning for coffee again.
It can.
And we'll see what we can get into tomorrow, guys. Please share this out. Like it if you can, please. Everything helps. Thank you for all the great questions and comments in the chat. And thank you to the moderators for being here. It means a lot to me. Um, I'm going to continue doing this as long as I'm physically able. So, with
Mhm.
that being said, Eric, do you want to
Yep, I'm
disclose?
getting ready to pull up. Go ahead, sorry.
Oh, I was just going to tell everybody I'm going to put a link in the chat for. Oh, shoot. That's the wrong link. All right. Let me see here. Give me a second.
Not a problem.
Go ahead,
Where
Eric.
did that picture? Well, I was looking for. Oh, here it is. I want to share a picture because I want to talk about something that's fixing to come out. Oh no! Don't open in that. Oh, I hate when you open up in that. Come on, you slow running. There, I said it without getting in trouble on YouTube. Uh, I just gotta wait for it to pot up. I do have a book that will be coming out soon. The book is Beast of the Ozarks First Kill. It is currently at the editor, and it will be available soon. As soon as it's out on Kindle, hardback, and paperback, I will put it up to be and for production on audio. And as soon as this picture will load, there it is, finally. Let me raise that up. Let me do this. So if you're not a member of my author's Facebook page on Amazon, go over there, follow me on there, and you'll be the first to know when that book is released. But this book here, Beast of the Ozarks, First Kill, should be out within the next couple weeks if everything works out right. So keep an eye on that on Amazon. Um, I got this is the book cover I created for it the other day. Um, that's my author's picture I use on my books and my Facebook author's page and Amazon. But this is the book cover. So keep an eye out for Beast of the Ozarks First Kill. I forgot how to do that
All
now.
right, everybody. I also
There we
just
go.
put the link for the bonfire store in the chat if anybody wants to check out the new T-shirt that I made today. And by the way, I'm not a big proponent to wearing pink, but the matrix
Mhm.
design that I did on the shirt, I gotta say, looks phenomenal on pink.
Pink is my
It
favorite
does.
color.
So
Pink when I
it
turn out
does. It
the
looks
light.
phenomenal on pink and black. Pink and black are the
Heck
two
yeah.
best colors for that new design. So, but yeah, it really stands out good. So,
Ur-
but
Urso,
anyway,
that will be available on Kindle, paperback, hardback, and first. And then once I can find a producer, it will be available on audio as well. All my books, except for one, is available on audio right now, and that is only because the producer was a part of the California fires. So I told him to get set up first, and then worry about finishing my book up later. And that'll be Viking Age: Secrets of Mercia is the only one that's not on audio right now, and that's because he was caught in them California fires.
tough guys wear pink.
Oddly enough, I used to have a shirt that says "Don't laugh. This was your girlfriend's shirt." I lost mine, and that's the only reason why I wore that shirt. And I would go
Yeah,
to the most public of places to wear that shirt.
yeah.
That was a long time ago when I was young and not the most friendly versions of me.
Well,
Oh
everybody
man.
have a great, great rest of your evening and early morning wherever you're at. I am gonna go pass out and hopefully wake up in the morning for the show.
Heck yeah, you'll be here.
I don't want to be late for the
Heck
only
yeah.
show, so but I'll have Eric text me at like 10 a.m. or something, so I make sure I'm up.
Heck yeah.
So,
Well, I can always.
anyways,
There's a certain character in this book that everybody knows that I can always be like that character to wake you
nah, no, thank you,
up.
no, thank you.
I'll have to talk to Tracy. Everybody was good seeing you. Peace, love, and blessings.
Everybody, take care. Thank you for the mods. Everybody, have a great
True
evening.
Rockstar.
Okay.